Hey guys, so Tony here. So one of you guys actually did recommend, or not recommend, but just told me that you guys wanted to see a TA on time. And I thought, fuck it. I think I bought like one call on time for like a month out because I actually liked the chart a little bit. And I was expecting kind of like a short-term breakout towards the upside, right? Let me get rid of these fibs over here, right? We can start from scratch. But on the day chart, you guys know that on the day chart, I do like to set my price ranges around the day chart. And that's usually what's going to happen, right? As everybody becomes like a better trader, they tend to really set their ranges on certain spots. And I think that, as of right now, I do think that, if you set your price ranges at very specific spots where you actually think things are going to hit, I definitely think it's a very good sentiment of what kind of trader you are and how good you're actually going to be, right? So just right now, I use a day chart to actually set my price ranges and where I think things are gonna, relatively are gonna come close to like, hitting certain prices. I do tend to, how do I say this? Like I do tend to be weary of gaps that get filled, right? So when there's actually gaps that get filled, I not necessarily gaps that get filled, but when there's open gaps on a stock, I don't like to trade that stock, especially when the gap is on the lower range, right? So you guys can see here that there's a huge gap right here on what's it called? On in between what is this price? Like $2 and $2.22, right? A huge gap that needs to get filled right here. And this is one of the reasons why I wouldn't want to trade. I wouldn't necessarily want to trade time just because it does have a huge gap right there, right? But as far as the actual chart goes, it doesn't look too bad. I think for the most part right now, I tend to look at the weekly chart to kind of determine and gauge momentum, right? So as of right now, it does look like we're still pretty bullish, right? And even you guys can see on the stochastic here, it does look like the next week or two, we are going to be creating bottoms if we keep on this trajectory, right? So, as of right now, we went to the week chart. We look to see if we're actually, bullish or bearish. We saw bullish, right? So that's the first part of confluence, right? Second part, we're still pretty, we're still relatively bullish just because you guys know that on the MACD, as long as you guys see these blue candles here, I'm still pretty bullish, right? There's still basically, statistically, there's a higher chance that we go up than down when these blue candles are right here, right? Even though weaker movement is actually getting created, whenever the MACD is blue, I always, I'm still relatively bullish, right? So week chart bullish, day chart bullish. On the 4-hour chart, we actually just turned right now. We actually just turned a bearish right now on the 4-hour chart. And the thing is, I like to gauge based off of, previous average, right? Like last time we went bullish around this level, what happened, right? We went bullish right here. We went bullish from January 21st to we were bullish from January 19th all the way up to, let's say like right here, like February 1st, right? So we were bullish for about 10 days after this happened, after we actually had a 4-hour window cross right there, right? But the thing is, last time we actually crossed the stochastic at a super high level, right? So we actually crossed, not super high, but man, why can't I get there you go. We actually crossed it up here and we started creating bottoms. But you guys can see that even on the top here, we didn't actually trend down in price. We went from $2 to $1.50, which is, relatively 50 cents of $2 is what, 25%? But we didn't completely shoot down, right? We just kind of trended in this little price range. We trended between, $1.70 and, $2.11. And ultimately, once we crossed over on the bullish side towards uppers on the 4-hour chart, we basically blew up and we skyrocketed to like $5, right? So on the 4-hour chart, it does look pretty bearish. I think worst case scenario is right now, if that this 4-hour cross happened, we might trade sideways between this $2.65 and the $3 level, right? As far as just looking at the chart on the 4-hour, that's what it's looking like. But I did see on the hour chart that we actually we're I do think on Monday that it's gonna cross over towards the upside, right? So I do think that on Monday there's a really good chance we hit, possibly $3 or $3.20 again, because the MACD and we have the stochastic down here creating bottoms. So the stochastic is creating bottoms, and the MACD right here is actually about to cross on the bullish side, right? And the last time this happened, we were in this area. We basically went from $2.50 to highs of $3.50, and that was actually it's a full dollar, but we're not focusing on dollars, right? We're focusing on percentage. So we actually went from the highs. We actually went from we did a 36% gain, right, from where that actually happened. So this is where we get our forecast, right? So we can relatively get the same amount, right? We did a 36%. So let's leave it on here. We did it in what? In 21 hours. So this is actually going to be a little bit closer. Oh, actually, I can't do it because it's the weekend, right? So we'll just stick right here, right? So, but last time, you guys can see that we did it in a full 20. We did it in 21 hours, right? We went up 92 points, and it's almost the same thing. We can put it down to 92 points, but even then, that kind of leaves us at a price range of what, $3.64, which is a little bit higher than previous all-time highs that we have set. Actually, not previous all-time highs. I think previous all-time highs were $5, right? So it actually gives us a pretty good direction, right? So right now, that's why I actually took the call on. That's why I actually bought the call for TYME, because I think that on the hour chart we're pretty bullish towards the upside, right? So I do think it was a relatively good play. I bought it for a month out, so we definitely have a bunch of time. But I do think that right now, I do think that we are we're basically moving towards the upside, right? And then I like to go into my fibs just to kind of double check where the next positions are, and it does look like we're basically not too far away from the actual fib positions, right? But the bad thing is we're following this trend, we're following this downtrend relatively well, right? So we need to actually break towards the upside on this trend to actually see like full coverage of an actual big bullish move, right? But let's see if we can actually, let's delete this. Let's add fibs again on a different level. So let's get my fibs, bro. Let's do right here. We'll add it, and then we'll actually do from relative lows, which was actually back here. Yeah, so it looks like it's the same thing. I mean, relatively. The areas are still sort of similar as far as price range goes. I would actually go with my previous fib level, not this one. But as of right now, it does look like at least short term, we are going to be going up once this hour MACD crosses, because last time we did go, a solid, 36%. And I am expecting this move up to happen Monday or Tuesday, latest Tuesday, more than likely Monday. So that's kind of a little insider on what exactly is going on with TYME right now for the person who requested it. I mean, I don't know who you are, right? I just saw TYME. I completely forgot who the person requested it was, but I remember that they requested for TYME be picked up, and I did some T on it. So short term, I do think that it's gonna go up relatively, to maybe 320, a little bit higher. I forgot what I said, but I think it was going up to new highs, right? Up here. Would I hold this long term? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know what the company is. I don't know what they do, and I definitely wouldn't be trading this other than somebody recommended, and I saw a short term possibility of being a gain, because there's this gap right here. You guys know that I hate trading charts that have gaps, because there's a huge chance that this gap right here, this yellow barrier, there's a huge chance that this can get that this can fall all the way back to this level, and then this can get filled, right? I'm a big believer of gaps always getting filled, so I don't like trading charts that have gaps on the bottom end, more so on the top end, right? So if you see Tesla, if they have a gap at $1,050 and it's trading at $800, statistically there's a 90, at least from my perspective, there's a 99% chance that gap is going to get filled. So 100% I would buy in on Tesla, right? You don't know when it's going to get filled, but more than likely it's going to get filled someday. So there's a better chance of it going up than down, whether depending on where the gap position is, right? And we actually had a gap here in between $2.82 and $2.60, right? So that actually just got filled right here. So we actually had two gaps. We had one gap right here, one gap down. We had this gap right here that you guys can see me. You have this gap right here, And you also have this gap right here that actually also got filled when price dropped to right here. So these two gaps got filled into one, but there's this huge gap right here that still needs to get filled. It's like a 25% gap. So long term, would I play this? Of course not. Short term, yeah. That's why I'm in the bathroom, so that's why my wife said almost out. But short term, would I play this? 100%. I mean, that's why I bought calls. The hour chart looks pretty good. It looks like we are going to break upwards towards like the, above the 350 line, above the $3.50 line. I do think that's where we're headed. Long term, probably not. I probably wouldn't be in this for longer than like a month or like another couple of days, to be honest. Like I'll probably get out next week once that actual pop happens, because I do think that it's going to drop back down and fill this, right? Of course, I can be wrong 100%, but at least from what I'm seeing this short term, I do think it's going to pop up and then it's just going to go right back down, because it's not going to pass this higher high. And I do think it's going to probably maybe reach like this level and then just shoot all the way back down. It's going to create a higher low and it's just going to be downtrending from there, right? We can kind of see that, the week chart, like I said, is still bullish. So, I as far as right now, I mean, even the month chart looks pretty good, to be honest. But even so, I think I would only do calls short term, or not short term, but like a month out, and then just kind of see how it plays out. But as far as long term, unless like TYME has like some crazy good news or they're doing some crazy tech or something that I'm interested, I wouldn't play this long term. But I don't know too much about the company to actually give recommendations off of this, or to let you guys know that I actually like it or not. But that's the TA. I do think that short term it's gonna hit here, this area, and like this upcoming week. Long term, I don't know how to tell you guys, because I haven't looked into this company too much, but it does look like this gap is going to get filled eventually. So just on that, just based off of that, and because I believe in trading lore, that means that I don't want to be in this company until this gap fills, and after it gets filled, then I would probably buy in. So I hope you guys enjoyed that TA. If you guys did, if you're watching this on YouTube or TikTok, wherever you are, like the video, save it, share it, comment, whatever, right? All the good stuff, man. So I'll see you guys later. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.